Welcome members to another weekly update, and Happy New Year. Please, as always, check the other video about the overall market conditions. If in case you didn't see that yet, quick mention, because we're just 13 days away now to the seminar. You should be coming. I've brought it back earlier. As you know, this seminar is usually every summer, and this year I brought it back into January because I don't want to miss out on the opportunities that lie ahead this year, and I see quite a few, particularly in cryptocurrencies, and so I put out a special urgent one for January, and I've made it like a silly price for members to come along. And pretty much 3/4 of the event, half to 3/4 of it is new stuff that won't have been covered on previous seminars or on products, and the DVDs are not included, or live events are not included as part of the membership. So I've brought it early, I've made it cheap. You should have got an invitation by now. If not, email me, and here's the invitation of the online one. That's just going to tell you more about it, but it doesn't show you the special price for members. You can't miss this one. Okay, I've done about all I can to make sure you don't, within reason. So I hope to see you on the 13th and 14th of January at Heathrow. Let's just check in on positions. This tile has been exceptional, right? Textbook stuff here. Here's where I got in looking for that bounce as it just skimmed beautiful up the 200-day. We've got in around there, and then up it goes. Like, this is turning into like a 50%, soon going to be a 50% gain on the stock alone, let alone options or spread betting. Percentage-wise, and that's what matters, this stock has gone up a huge amount from 18 to 25, and it's doing this beautifully, steps up the 50-day, which is just immensely bullish. And on a down day on Friday, this one closes up. So looking great there. And keeping an eye on the short-term trend, making sure that, we don't get... we should get a correction, but, at some point, is it going to affect any positions? So we're going to be looking at that as we go through it. Let's look at ANSS. Another one here, as you know, I was down here about there, 120 up to 147. That's a $27 gain on that. 20% just on buying the stock alone. The spread bet, a huge one there. Bounces up on high volume, and again, just kissing the 50-day more than the 200-day now, and that's just a really nice sign. To move ahead on that one. Let's see what else we got here. PICO. As you know, I was down around there, went up and came down a bit, but it's bouncing nicely, and as I said last week, it's almost like creating an additional entry here as it hits the 200-day, but this time it's higher than it was last time. So if we just stay on track there and just keep bouncing higher, maybe on the next ride upwards I might just cash in on that one. Down in there around 11.5, back to 12.80 right now, but has been up as high as 14.5, so that might be a target exit point. See how things go. Pound, I mentioned the pound recently because it identified this trend line. It was rising up, got in around here, up, corrects a little bit, and keeps on going up. Now, in the event of a correction, I'm not saying there's going to be one, but, if and when there is, the money will fly back to the dollar, and that will affect the pound. So let's just keep an eye on that. There's a few here. I don't always go over every one each week. There's too many to go through here, really, but, let me know if there's any ones in particular you need an update on, so it's not TDC, it's WTW. Yes, so they're in around there, and then it bounces up, comes down on Friday on higher volume, which is a little bit worrying, but I'm going to stick to my guns here. The stop is where it is. There's the line of support. If it closes below that, I'm out of there. IMMU, much better. There was the line in the sand was kind of the 200 days. It kind of marched up. It went up a little bit, got down a little bit, started to scare us a little bit, but stuck to the guns. Up she goes. Let's see what happens there, but that's currently riding on a very decent gain, almost like 100% from the stock alone. EPOL. Here's where I got, and you can see the support line there. Remember, all I'm doing is looking for low risk entry points. A low risk entry point, it means that if I'm wrong, I don't lose much. But if I'm right, I could win a lot, a lot more. And you can see it, but it's kind of stuck in this channel. Instead of breaking up above it, it looks like it's hesitated and turned back. So one is tempted to take profits there, or just stick to the stop here. I had it around 25-ish, so maybe I'll get out, take half profit there, and let the other one stick to the stop loss, which is below the support line around 25-ish around here. What else do we have here? Let's just check in on gold real quick. We have had some pretty lively action from gold. This kind of real rise up on heavy volume, and it's looking quite bullish ahead. But it's still in this rut. I get asked about gold, which is why I bring it up. But if you look at the weekly chart of gold, this is just it's a wandering. I mean, yeah, that was a good week, but yeah, it's not. It keeps bobbing in and out of bull market, bear market. The miners might give me more sense because the miners tend to lead the metal. That's looking a bit more of a tighter pattern. So if I was to go by the miners, this is not a bull market or a bear market. It's a transitional phase. That's one to just keep an eye on. One thing I will say about the transitional phases, though, is that, usually gets darkest before dawn. So we should see a trend emerge one way or the other. And what's in gold fundamentals, technical favors for gold, is I keep coming back to this chart of the dollar. The dollar is in, quite a concerted downtrend here. That's got to be having an effect on gold. I'm surprised gold isn't doing better, actually. But there it is. That's just an ugly, awful chart for the dollar. That will be a correction if there's a correction in the stock market. As I said, money will go back into it. But, it's got its work cut out there. It really does. Meanwhile, oil, keep an eye on commodities, could be finally about to come out of the darkness. And some people, or you can trade oil, but obviously there's all the oil stocks and things like that. So a lot of people do watch that. And with the dollar going down, commodities should be doing better, gold included. And what I'm really waiting for here is got oil to break above this 12. You can see a very long line of resistance there as oil's kind of messed around for years in the doldrums. If it can get decidedly above 12, it can be off to the races. I mean, if the daily chart was already saying about gold here, we had a golden cross oil had a golden cross about there, and up she goes. So on the daily chart alone, I'm starting to see the early signs. But what I just want to see is that 40-week turn up above the 70-week and start pushing hard to verify it for the longer term. And then oil should be away as well. The economy is rolling. It's moving ahead, and this is going. And I can sense the animal spirits back in the air, and speculative nature of people. They're back, and that's cryptocurrencies is the kind of epitome of that. And that's one reason why I brought the seminar back earlier. I think this is just going to be a really, really good money-making year if it's played right. And that's what I'm going to talk about on the 13th and 14th. I hope to see you there, and I will still speak to you next week.